To draw the lamb, you're going to start with a circle in the middle of your paper. I'm drawing a little bit darker so that you can see it. I noticed my lion didn't show up real well, but remember to draw lightly. And then go 2 fingers above the circle. 2 fingers above the circle, and that's where you're going to start with the bump and a bump or 2 on one side and a bump or 2 on the other side. I don't like doing them exactly the same, that's why I just have 1 and 2. And then you're going to kind of do almost a heart shape. Sorry about that, there was an owl hooting outside of my house. All right, back to business. We're gonna put his nose in the bottom section of the original circle, and it should have kind of a squished look to it in the center. Right there, you can see that I'm kind of squishing that middle down. And now I'm going to make his top lip with that little line that comes from the nose and it flares up on one side and then on the other side. You can really trace the line of the original circle and come down 2 finger lengths for the bottom jaw, and it should be flat and angle up towards the circle on both sides. Now the next part is his lower lip, so I'm going to trace sort of that same shape of his lower jaw and then put a little U shape for his tongue with the little line down the middle of it, and then move on to the eye. So his eyes are more on the side of his face than the lion's were, so I'm going to kind of come up at a steeper angle and do it on both sides, kind of right in the original circle. I'm still in the original circle, and I'm going to put some droopy little eyelashes on the sides, and just like in the lion, I'm going to make a big circle with a little circle inside and then a shine spot, and then I'm ready to move on to his ears. Now his ear comes out to the side. It's almost like a triangle with that loopy top and not a real sharp point. But you want to really spread the ears out. His ears are what makes him look super cute. And I'm just showing you that there's a fold on the top that kind of looks like that. It's a little bit thicker right there to show that the ear is folded. At this point, I'm going to get out my eraser and get rid of all of my guidelines. Now, hopefully you drew lighter than I did. I just wanted to make sure that you could see my guidelines for the purpose of teaching you how to draw it. But that erases pretty good. And I'm just getting rid of that original circle. We've talked a lot about the quality of line and how line can show motion and movement, and we want to use line to show that a lamb has very woolly and curly hair. So I'm making little curly cues by doing a circle with a little circle inside of it, and it gets smaller and smaller. Can you see how I'm doing that? So make these little curly cues all over the top of your little lamb's head. They can be in different sizes. You can have some big ones and some little ones, and that will help make your lamb look really cute. And now I'm ready to go over my lines and darken in the areas that I want darker. I decided to even smush his nose down a little bit further and use my black Sharpie to color that in. And I'm just going to keep going over all of my lines, except I use a colored marker when I get to the curly cue parts. So you'll see that. In this next part, I'm just going over all of my Sharpie lines and committing to where I want those to be. Go over his ears. Make sure that you have nice rounded edges to your ears. You don't want them to be pointy. And I'm coloring the inside of the lamb's lip. If you look at our resource picture, you can see that he has black inside of his mouth. And now I'm using the different colored markers for his curls. It might look kind of goofy right now, but when you go over those curls with the white Cray-Pas, you'll see that it kind of softens it out, and it really makes those curly hairlines look good. If your Cray-Pas gets dirty, I don't know if you noticed that I sort of rubbed the white Cray-Pas off on the side there. It had some green in it from a different project, so I just kind of rubbed it off on the side, and you can see that I got rid of some of the colors. And now I'm taking a peach and I'm swirling the lines with the peach and going over the white one more time, coloring his eyes in nice and bright blue. And hopefully you can see that we tried to get the lamb to look very woolly with those curly cues. And I think he looks adorable. So good job with your lamb. Now you can cut him out.